Hello. So I would like to start off today with those of you that have watched my last video. Just a brief update on what's been happening with the situation with my friend who has been tossed to the curbside by her own darn family. Anyways, I just want you to know she's still safe. She is still staying with me for now, with us here. Still waiting to hear back from the CALAIM, that's like CALAIM, housing advocate. Apparently they have more access to information than the general public when it comes to helping disabled veterans and elderly find housing. So fingers crossed that we hear from them, or she's heard from them this afternoon, or hopefully by tomorrow. They said it could take up to 10 business days because, you know, not having a home isn't anybody else's priority but your own when you don't have a home. Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to catch you guys up on that. You know, people have suggested, you know, the local shelters here. And as I mentioned in my last video, those are just not an option for a female in their 50s who has mobility issues. Those environments are just not safe. I don't care what anybody says. So there's just too many people who are on drugs and not mentally competent to be in groups of people. So anyway, thank you for everyone who has offered any advice. It's always appreciated. Also, if you haven't seen my last video, I'm going to link it at the end of this video. And if you have any advice, any options that we haven't thought of, maybe you could leave a comment letting us know. Anything of any information for the situation is greatly appreciated. And we thank you very much. So, you know, and here helping my friend, you know, I've really come into the understanding of what's going on out here in the world. It's really given me a eye-opening to what is happening out in the local offices. You know, we were face to face this week with a lot of different people, and what I found was, one, a complete lack of accountability amongst most people, and basic professional competence. People are so unprofessional. I don't know if I mentioned the young woman, she wasn't that young actually, she was probably in her 40s, that didn't know how to help us very well and totally admitted she was supposed to be doing a training but didn't want to do it. And I guess nobody was forcing her to do it, so she just didn't, so she couldn't really help anybody, even though that was her job. Yeah, a lot of that going on. I'm still out here looking for somewhere for work, and I get it that there's a lot going on in the world, and I understand that, you know, there's not always a good fit for people. However, the experiences that I've been having are, I don't know how to say it. Let's just say this first interview I had this week, over the phone, everything sounded great. They asked me all about how I was learning all of my skills with AI and marketing and things like that. And I explained to them, you know, how I've been completely 100% on my own, self-taught. There's no college classes to go to learn how to do AI. Or work with AI. So I've been following a lot of coaches out there, taking webinars as much as possible that are informational, and hooking up with certain people, the coaches, and following their structure as much as I can without paying their outrageous fees. And I've pretty much self-taught myself everything, and they thought that was wonderful. We got to the second part, which was the online face-to-face interview, and the look you get, you know, in your intuitive mind, in your soul, when the camera comes on and the look that you receive is not an open and welcoming of expectation. It's a, oh, surprise, you're old. Oh, we thought you were only in your 30s doing all these, new things and working with new technology. So, needless to say, the first interview this week was exactly that. The screen came on. The gentleman, who was older than me, still gave me the same surprised look, and then went on through as fast as he could through the interviewing, and then said that they would let me know the next day. That was on Monday. And it's Thursday. Do you think they ever called or sent me an email or anything? Nah, of course not. Of course not. And I kind of knew they wouldn't. Very unprofessional. Anyway, the next interview was yesterday. So this was through a recruiter. It's actually an office I've dealt with before. And I wasn't anticipating what happened. I thought maybe that they would be a bit more organized. However, we scheduled the interview, I believe we scheduled it on Monday for Wednesday. It was going to be scheduled for 10:30 a.m. Wednesday. We chatted back and forth through Indeed and set the interview for 10:30. When I got the email the night before the interview letting me know the time slot and everything select, she had made the interview for 10 a.m. I wasn't quite sure if maybe I misunderstood or she misunderstood. However, I just went ahead and said, okay, I'll be prepared by 10 a.m. just in case I maybe misunderstood, even though our messaging back and forth was very clear. It was 10:30. So at 10 a.m., I went ahead and logged in for the face-to-face interview, and I waited about 5 minutes or so. She did not come on. So I took it upon myself at that time to, go ahead and message her, let her know, that our meeting was scheduled for 10:30 and there was an issue, some sort of mistake. No big deal that she had set it for 10, but that I would be online and prepared for our 10:30 scheduled time. So at 10:30, I logged back into the interview on Indeed, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited till about 10:45. At that point, I continuously remained logged in and decided maybe because I did message letting her know I was there and got no response. So then I decided I'm just going to go ahead and look up the phone number, call the office. Maybe there's an issue. So I called their office. And when they answered, it was laughter in the background, like there was a party going on, right? And it was like, hello, And I said, yes, hi. I gave them my name. Let them know, that we had a 10:30 appointment, that I was still logged in waiting for somebody to log in and interview me. Oh, wow, we forgot all about you. We're so sorry. Let me go log in real quick. Okay, I'm still here, so I'll wait. Hung up the phone and waited another 5 minutes. And then my phone rang. And she called back and she said, oh, we're having internet issues. Okay, whatever. Was it an internet issue? I don't really know. Am I calling them a liar? No, but just the whole process seemed a little odd. She happened to remember me from when I'd been to their office. It's been a couple of years at least, but I must have stood out in her mind, so she remembered me and I remembered her, and we went ahead with the interview via phone. Everything went great. I was a perfect candidate, not just for the job that I was looking at, that I had applied for, but also a second job that they had that they didn't have advertised. I thought that's wonderful. She's even mentioned a third job, but that one I wasn't really interested in at this time. So she was going to give over my information to her supervisor and get it all cleared for me to interview with the first job that I applied to on Friday. She said, I will get back to you later today and let you know. Either you'll have the interview on Friday or not, kind of thing. And I was like, great, that sounds wonderful. So we got off of our interview. It was about, I would say quarter after 11 yesterday. Came 6 o'clock yesterday. I never heard from her. And now it's I don't know, my time, late afternoon here, almost 3 o'clock on Thursday. The interviews were supposed to be scheduled for tomorrow. So, still haven't heard from anybody. And I'm just thinking to myself, if I was the person at any of these jobs that dropped the ball this hard all the time, it just seems like everywhere I go, I would be fired. Kristy, you didn't pay the bill for the PG&E this month. Why? Oh, I forgot. Well, they shut it off. It just doesn't work for me. I have to make sure I have all of my things done. I have to make sure my I's are dotted, my T's are crossed, and I have to be very diligent and double check all of my work. Apparently, some of these other places, these other jobs, they just don't care. And it's very baffling that these people should even be getting paid, in my opinion. If they work for me, yeah, slip up here and there happens. But that many times with just one client? Wow, okay, whatever. I digress. Not going to be upset anymore. Just going to keep moving on. Anyway, I hope I still hear back from them. I don't know if I will. But just the lack of professionalism in these places that are supposed to be professional businesses and offer services to the public or to other professionals. I mean, this was a recruiter and they're very unprofessional, and it just baffles me. And I don't really know what to think about it. I guess I'm just sitting here complaining because I don't know what to make of it. Anyway, yeah, so age bias out there big time. If you don't believe me, you'll figure it out one day when you're the same age or have to go through something similar. Unprofessional recruiters, maybe I should be a recruiter. I'd be probably pretty good at it. Just all the incompetencies of the modern workplace these days make me really wish I was more successful in being able to create my own business. So that's kind of where I stand right now. I feel like, I watched this movie the other day, and it's a really old movie and hadn't seen it in many, many, many years. And it just made me think that the world is full of clowns. And we watched that movie, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I don't know why, but while I was watching it, I was like, yeah, the world's full of clowns. Nobody takes anything serious. Nobody cares. As long as their little perfect life is fine, they don't really care about anything else. So anyway, I hope I find something soon that's, so I can show that I am much more professional at what I do. Anyway, I just wanted to jump on here and see what your guys' thoughts are on all that. Have you guys ran into completely incompetent people out there in the world making good money doing these jobs where they just seem to always get away with doing everything, as my parents used to say, half-ass? I'd really like to hear what your experiences are, or, if you have an employee who does this and you're trying to figure out how to get rid of them, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I just don't know what to think of it, and I don't understand where people are coming from anymore. It just seems like you would have a little bit more self-respect to do a better job, but I guess not. Anyway, y'all, I'd love to hear what you have to say about it down in the comments. Also, YouTube is going to be changing, so if you guys like my content and you want to keep seeing me, please subscribe to my channel, because it may be that you might not ever see me again soon. For those of you who participate with YouTube, you know what I'm talking about the new changes to becoming monetized and those sorts of things. And the watch hour limits and all that are going to be skyrocketed. So I still plan on being here. I'm not monetized yet, and I'm still here just because I am enjoying what I'm doing. If you also have often thought maybe you should try your hand at YouTube and see what the world of YouTube has to offer you, I have great coaches that I speak with on a regular basis over at SKOOL. It's spelled SKOOL, and it's under Common Sense Methods with Kevin and Michelle. They are absolutely amazing coaches, full of all kinds of help. So they're constantly posting videos and posting things out for all of the people involved to be able to utilize the information. And I will put their information in the description box down below so you guys can go over and check them out. And trust me, it's not like a $200 a month coaching fee, okay? It's very reasonable, and I think you even get like a week or two for free if you're into it. So that'll be in the description box. I have to get back to my job searching and see what else I can find out there in the world. So I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we will see you in the next video.